Malgus is unchained, and we try to track him down with a first look at Secrets of the Enclave Flashpoint on the PTS. We will try to not be spoilery. There's no story in the game anyway, so we'll let you know, though, before we get to it. If you don't even want to see what any of the trash mobs look like, we'll let you know. That and more on this episode of the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 375. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How is it going?
Hey, Max. Going great. I like being over here on the PTS. I'm in my new apartment, and you're with me. But we'll talk about that a little bit later, maybe. But in the meantime, let's see. What have I been doing in SWTOR? Well, I mean, I know this is shocking, but I've been paying some attention to Conquest. I know it's the first time, but I did this week. I reached a dumb goal last week. I mentioned this in MFN, which is that I got to Conquest on all of my characters on the pub side, which is...
And which was how many again?
A bunch. I don't want to say how many.
Say it. Like a bazillion,
18.
jillion. 18.
18.
Conquest on
Okay.
18 characters. That is impressive. Most impressive, but you are not a Jedi yet. But that's impressive. Yeah.
Yes. I don't know why. I'm just enjoying doing that. So I log in, I go, okay, who's going to get the Conquest today? And I think, so this person can get rep, or this person can do heroics, or this person can do this other thing, or this person can go kill mobs. So anyway, did that. And then MFN this week, we also did a bunch of Conquest because we went and killed world bosses, and then we killed, when we found the world boss, then after we killed the world boss, then we would kill a bunch of mobs in the area. So by the time the night was over, I mean, people were changing in and out characters all night long, which is kind of why we do this. A lot of people got 3 or 4 characters to Conquest that night. So
Yep, I got 4.
And it's just a fun way to spend time with friends. Then while we've been spending some time on the PTS, I played a little bit with the Galactic Seasons. As you can see, I purchased apartment here on the fleet on the imp side, and I got the Republic one too. I haven't actually put any furniture down except to put these lights in so we could take a picture. But what was I going to say? Well, you and I went and played in the Flashpoint, so we're going to talk about that later.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to say I'm still working my way through that book I mentioned last week, which is called Axiom's End. I now know, for instance, why it's called that, which is kind of weirdly the point of the book, which is cool. It's a first contact story, and it's a very interesting alien, and it's very interesting. I guess it's not quite world building since I'm not on that world. You know, it takes place on Earth, but as you learn more about the alien and their culture or society, that's pretty interesting. However, it's not the kind of book where I look forward to reading it. Like, when am I going to be able to read so I can find out what happens? It's sort of like when I'm reading it, I'm enjoying it, but it doesn't like call me back, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So not a page turner, barn burner.
It's I'm still a little put off by the reader because the narrator is doing every sentence sort of like 1970s or 80s Captain Kirk. It's like, and then I walked down the hall.
Yeah.
And everything is just very emotional, and it's over the top, so that when something startling does happen, it's sort of like you almost miss it because it's just like everything else.
Right.
But this book was nominated for some kind of this Audible audio production was nominated for an award. So maybe it's just me. So don't let me put you guys off from this book for that reason. And I think there's a sequel in the works too. So I think there's going to be, I don't think the Earth is going to be destroyed at the end. Maybe it will be. Yeah, right.
Well,
it's not a spoiler if I'm just guessing.
Talented, so we'll see. And
yes, she is.
you're gonna have to tell me when you're done whether I should read it or not. and I
Oh,
don't
well.
do anything unless Seema tells me to. So as I just gotta wait. Apparently,
Speaking of things I told you to do, we had our ops night tonight.
we did.
I told you to come to ops and you did. No. Um, and we finally killed Styrak after I think this was maybe our 3rd night, Styrak and Veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was really a DPS race, so, my kudos to the DPS who pulled out all the stops and got that going, and, I think Max is gonna have some comments about that as well. So, anyway, that's sort of my week. How about you, Max? What's going on?
Yeah. So why don't I pick it up right there? That was fun to get Styrac vet mode down. We even had a little bit of a rough start. We went to a 5 DPS model. We took one of our tanks and turned him into a DPS, and then we said, well, just to make it easier, since the tank's getting knocked around, why don't we put Max in front of the spines? When the Kel Dragon does his spinny thing, and Max can take it, and everybody can stand behind Max. Yeah, my cooldowns aren't enough for that. I'm like,
That
cooldown,
didn't work,
cooldown, 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 and dead.
right?
It was a little rough. But so even with me dying and having to get re-rezzed in the beginning, we still one-shot it coming in
Yep.
there tonight. One thing that may have helped, I know it's feeling really good to me, especially with that kind of fight, is I am now Arsenal. I'm in 6 pieces of Apex Predator. So I've got my set bonus and six pieces of Apex Predator, 1 piece of Amplified Champion, as you would expect. Although, and my Amp Champ is my belt instead of my helmet because I don't have the Apex Predator belt. But I've got the 6 other pieces. I did have to again start re-rolling amplifiers so I could get armor penetration, and just the ability to do the burst and target switch very quickly, especially in that Styrac fight, really feels good because
Yeah,
you
listening to your comments during ops, it sounded like you're happy to be back with
it
Arsenal.
was it was fun. I didn't think I was gonna like it at first when I was switching because I'm so used to innovative ordnance. I've been playing innovative ordnance probably for 18 months now, and
Yeah.
I've got that that dot rotation down, and I'm on point with the dots and dot spread on the AOE, and but through this whole thing, bang, 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 switch, shoot the Kel Dragon, shoot the Styrac ghost that's force choking the boss, shoot your companion because you're in a nightmare, shoot the force ghost and the unchained and the ads and now you shoot Styrac, trying to like lay down dots and let them tick. By the time the dot ticks halfway, Styrac is already gone and off doing something else, and there's another ad. Arsenal just really helps out on that kind of fight, which, as we're going through, and I was just noticing on a lot of the fights in Scum and Villainy, Arsenal was just a lot better.
Mhm.
Now shoot the bats. Now go back and shoot the the Dash Road or whatever the thing is. Now run around and shoot individually 4 ads on the top of
Yep.
what's that guy's name?
That beastie boss. What is his name?
Hermes from Futurama, and his
Right.
trained his trained uh, brush your teeth. What did we miss? What voiceover did we miss here today? I forgot what the he calls it.
It was use your teeth, but Thon heard brush your teeth.
Yeah. Yeah. So I like it, and I know maybe on a really long single target sustained fight, it's going to come in slightly lower than innovative ordnance. I think I might be sticking with Arsenal, which means I should probably switch my amplifiers on my guns over. Those are the only 2 that I didn't switch over to armor pen. There's still a periodic intensity. I was not going to switch them over. I could probably just get another barrel and just keep those barrels on the side if I need them. So cool. That was fun. I've also been doing a little bit of, well, I did some biochem this week because I was getting adrenals for the fight. Again, we're going to try to amp it up a little bit, pull out the stops. We've all got the right stims and stuff, but we weren't doubling down on the adrenals,
No,
those kinds of things. But if you want to get
that's
into
true.
the especially a DPS race, that's what adrenals are for. So look into them. That's a little bit of extra burst. You can use them a couple times during the fight, but not much more than that because they've got a significant cooldown. But that's another way to get a little bit of extra boost. Get your amplifiers straight. Make sure you've got your stat mix straight. Make sure you're using the right the right relics and using the relic during the fight.
Mhm.
There's one of them's an on-click relic. You better be clicking it. So it's on my bar now. I put the amplifiers or the adrenals on my bar. Feels good. Feels good. Feels good. So that's what I've been doing. And then yeah,
So which
conquest.
which of your companions do you have to kill when you go in the nightmare on that fight?
Mako. I think everyone kills their
Oh,
first companion, don't they? Which is
no, 'cause I've never had to kill. Oh, wait. Have I ever done this fight on my stage? But I've never had to kill, Kaizen.
hmm. Yeah, I don't I think I thought you had to like kill your romance, your prime
I
romance
I
classic
that's what I
companion.
think. I had to kill,
Yeah.
Torian, I think. But I guess they don't put the healers in the nightmare anymore, which is kind of
Right.
bummer.
I think the tanks and the healers don't go in.
Yeah.
Just the
No,
DPS.
I think you're right, and the same with the sandstorm in the first fight. The
They
healers
don't
and tanks
teleport
don't
you
go
out, at
in.
least on vent mode. Yeah, that's
Or
useful.
even on story, yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe they do on
story vet.
master.
Yeah, maybe they do on
Yeah.
master. I don't know. Husavich! I'm sure he do something evil to us. All right, yeah. So that's what I've been doing. Let's hear what the rest of the world's been doing.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
Not much in the bug tracker, but we do have a couple things in there. Nothing that jumped out to me as really critical, but they are continuing to be tracked, and Jackie's continuing to do her work of keeping the culture on the forums appropriate. She called out a couple, she locked a thread and basically told two people to break it up and stop antagonizing each other. Uh,
She's my hero.
but but yes, quite a few bugs are continuing to be tracked, both in the new content, things in the PTS, and in existing content. In fact, there's one in particular that they're going to be moving to the PTS to investigate more, which is an interesting move. So that's it in Bug Tracker. Keep track of it if you're interested. It's fun to watch it go by.
There's also, a new contribution to the Galactic Seasons feedback, some, new and more specific questions to answer and people answering those. It's a complicated thing, and there's lots of points that they're looking for feedback on. So if you're into that kind of thing, please do download the PTS, which you can do inside Steam if you're a Steam user, um, and go check it out so you can provide your feedback. A lot of people in that thread too were giving, um, I thought great feedback. Like some of them, they're giving feedback more than they asked for. Like they answer the question, but then they said, you know what I think you should do is this other thing. Um, and a lot of people had a lot of different ideas, which is hard to funnel that into how to improve this system, but it's good to get answers to their questions.
Yeah, we are not yet ready to give our view or breakdown of Galactic Seasons. Would you say Galactic Seasons is a complicated profession, Seema? It sounded like you were saying that. Uh, it's it's confusing to me. I do see that there's some updates in here now. It's looking a little bit better. The first round was a little bit rough around the edges in my view, the first implementation. I'm interested to see sort of where it goes and how they continue to refine it because I still don't get it completely. I know what I mean I get it, but the the way they're implementing it, I don't think anybody really gets it. People act like they get it when the the question in the feedback thread is, do you get it? And people say, yeah, I get it, and then they say, so I'll just get a bunch of tokens and then that'll be enough for me to get the companion and level it up to 50. And the answer to that is no. So then you don't get it. And the next person will
I like
say, oh, yeah, I get it. We'll get a bunch of weapons along the way and the tokens are beside the point and we won't need the tokens. No, that's not it either. So I don't know that anybody really gets it. And I think that's a little bit of an issue. Oh, well, we're not supposed to talk about it. But anyway, we'll get to it at some point.
Yeah,
I
I mean, just for like the picture that you're showing just right now, those icons stuff, they don't have tooltips or anything. So like, uh, what are those things? I don't know,
An
but like
ornate
at level 4,
Kubazian box.
yeah,
Okay.
at
Oh,
level 4
I
you get
accidentally
that.
clicked on it. It has a purchase with credits, 175,000 or 100 cartel coins. And yeah, I mean, a lot of this is changed from last week, and a lot of it is still just weird. I mean, why is catch up for level 53 732 million credits? And why are people in the forum feedback thread saying, yes, that's entirely appropriate. That sounds really good. I didn't understand that. I don't know. And why does it go 99, 153? I don't know why it does that either. And what is the difference between the tokens and the things you get along the way? That's also something we need to hash out and discover. There's a bunch
But
of math,
at least you have 6 of 800.
right? I mean, I did a couple things. There are a couple posts on the forums, and I would encourage everyone as you're going through this to read through those in detail. There is a little bit of description that I think at least hints to what this is supposed to be doing and where it ends up. And maybe it's all there, and we're just not understanding it just yet. So that remains to be seen too. So I'm going to dig into this a little bit more.
I definitely think that's true. But what's keeping us from understanding is the UI, the way it is now.
Right.
Anyway, that's why we didn't want to talk about it yet. So we should continue talking about it, I guess.
Yes. Also in the news, the Secrets of the Enclave Flashpoint is live. We are going to show it in detail. We ran through it and recorded it. We're going to stop and play it and show you what it looks like. There's no story, so you're not going to spoil any story. In fact, you won't even really know why you're there, which is interesting. But you'll be able to see what sort of the inside looks like. We'll show you some of the scenery and a couple of the fights. That said, there is a feedback thread for Secrets of the Enclave in the forums as well, and you can go in there and provide your feedback on, hey, here's the fights. How do they feel? Is it clear enough what you're supposed to do? Were you able to get and do the bonuses and stuff like that? We found it relatively straightforward and fun, so you'll get to see that later in the show.
And then there's also a request from Chris Schmidt for people to come onto the PTS and try the Mandalorian Battle Ring arena map, because people have been reporting that you get killed in ways that you should not be getting killed, basically by running into things or going things or getting killed in the spawn area. So they're asking people to come to the PTS, play in that thing, and give detailed feedback on where they die. And they also have implemented some logging, like I envision it like debugging log that will help them also isolate. So even if all you do is go over there and play it a few times, it'll help them isolate the problem so that they can fix the Mandalorian Battle Ring arena map. Which, what I like about this is they're basically saying exactly what they need. And then in the thread, there's people, well, at least there's one person so far responding with just that kind of data. So hop over there if you're PvP or help them fix it.
Right. I think this was a good move, and I like that this is happening at all. There's been some problems. People have been reporting issues and have had a lot of problems with the Mandalorian Battle Ring since it launched. It's one of those 4v4 maps that can come up anytime. You can just queue for random fights, especially if you're doing ranked, though. All you're doing is the 4v4 map, so it'll come up much more often. If you're dying because you ran into a post and it's got a kill volume or whatever they're called that's misaligned, and it you insta die, that's no fun, especially if you're in a ranked match. Them taking it, putting it on the PTS, adding extra logging, and doing a bunch of investigation there, that sounds pretty cool. I like that. You're right. What about Guilden community news, Seema? Why did we not do a podcast last week?
Well, we did not do our podcast last week because we were on Working Class Nerds helping them celebrate their 100th episode, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun.
I mean, that is quite the milestone.
It is. It is quite the milestone, and I forget how much of a milestone, especially since they are once every 2 week podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They have been podcasting for quite a while.
Yeah.
And I have a problem with linear time
yes.
that you humans use.
Fellow human.
So I cannot and should not be thinking of them as the new kids on the block anymore, because they are not. They are bitter vets at this point, and not bitter at all. Those guys are great. So we had a lot of fun
But
with Nick and Marcus.
and what's cool about them too is that they're a podcast like we are a podcast, and they love podcasts. So it's cool. I mean, Marcus is also streaming, but he's doing like a real streaming effort where he plays games and has a, all that stuff. But I love that they're a podcast.
Mm-hmm. Right. And podcasting is a discipline all its own. In fact, they're even a more pure podcast than we are, in that, and I didn't realize this, that they don't go live anymore.
Yeah,
they
they just
tried
record.
it. Yeah, they tried it a couple times. They like the flexibility to not be live when they record. So they have a recording session. They record and publish all like in one session. They record, edit, and publish. We still stream live while we're recording, and then do some editing and publishing the next day. So yeah, they've done really well. It's a good time with them, and it was really nice. I was kind of honored that they wanted us on for the 100th show.
I was, yeah.
When Marcus first invited us to, about a month ago, I had expected that we would be one of a cast of guests that would come on, because who would invite only us on for their 100th episode? But yeah, no, that was very cool. And then they had some. Marcus created I think it was like a Google phone number, and had people leave voice messages that then he played. And there were a couple of those that were really, really good too. In fact, we've got to get Kitty from the Utini cast on our show, because he's hilarious, and
Yeah, he was.
he left an awesome voicemail in the voice of Marcian Rowe from the Audible recorded version of the Light of the Jedi novel that's out.
Yep. Yep.
Marcian Rowe.
And then Nick's dad was pretty hilarious too.
And Nick's dad. I've got to meet Nick's dad. Nick's dad left two of them. One, just two amazing ones. So go listen to that. Also in Guild news, our Friday night fun nights so Tuesday night is mandatory fun night that's open to everybody, and everybody groups up. That's sort of our big weekly event. Friday night, we've had a series of events that have been rotating. That schedule is continuing to evolve, and starting tomorrow, so starting on the first Friday in April, we are moving to a once a month schedule for 4 different events. So first Friday, second Friday, third Friday, fourth Friday. First Friday is going to be Master Mode Flashpoint groups, and Melung, one of our officers, hosts that. Second Friday is going to be a new group where Marcus invites anyone who's interested to experience and learn about what it takes to do vet mode progression operations in Star Wars, and sort of tips and tricks and what it feels like, and maybe just get in there if you've never even whether you've even done operations at all. Try out some hard modes ops on a boss and feel what it feels like to wipe and wipe and wipe, and why that's good, and there's progression even with wiping all night. Third week of the month, third Friday, is going to be the achievements night that we've been having. So B. Kavanaugh and Kyohu are going to continue to spin up achievement runs, some of the more difficult to get achievements. And then fourth Friday of the month will be our monthly epic mega. So I can't do justice to what Nick does on the Working Class Nerds podcast, but he does mega on Friday. So that will be every fourth Friday. And then if there is a fifth Friday, that'll be a wild card open, whatever happens. So every Friday now, rotation schedule, fun things going on in Star Wars: The Old Republic. Alea Iacta Est, AIE-Guild.org. Our Discord, we're on Starforge. These things bounce back and forth between Republic and Imperial. We all have characters on both sides, and we have guilds on both sides. So come join us for those things. In the broader AIE Guild, AIE-Guild.org, there's 2 things I wanted to call out. In addition to every other MMO and games we play like Valheim and Outriders and Destiny and all of those things, we now have a weekly, or once every 2 weeks, I think it's once every 2 weeks, a board game night and it's board games played through Tabletop Simulator. We have a couple board game industry experts that, one that's been hosting board games as a community event for a long time, and another one that's actually in the board game industry. It's once every 2 weeks on a Thursday night. And then we also have a series now. I think we have 3 or 4 D&D groups, AIE D&D groups. So there's a channel in our Discord. Oh, well, why don't you describe it, Seema? You are in one. This is
Yes,
relevant
I
to your
am.
interests.
Yes, I am. And it's actually kind of perfect because it meets the group that I'm in, we meet once a month. So it's not overloading to anybody's schedule except the DM, because the DM is actually meeting every week because he was brave enough to start 4 D&D games. So there's once a week for him. But yeah, it's I played D&D once in person a long time ago, once or twice. But that's the extent of my experience. And so it's a very low pressure game. We have at least 2 of our players and the DM are all experts at it, right? So, yeah,
But
I'm like I'm
the
like, I creep forward into a bush and they're like, Are you sure you wanna do that? I don't creep forward to the bush.
the DMs that we have hosting, we have a couple DMs. We had a guild con, our winter con, and these DMs, I listened in on both of them DM games, and they are very, very good at both teaching and tailoring the
Yes.
games to the level of the players, and keeping things fun and light and engaging, and really great DMs. So if you'd like to get involved in any of that, both the board games and the D&D sessions, check it out. We've got a channel for each of those. Say hi in there. The groups in those channels will really be happy to have you in there, answer any questions, and get you set up if you'd like to join. Shout out to the chat room. We got a bunch of people in the chat room typing notes here on the side, talking about how cold it is here in Chicago. Yes, Appolis, it is quite cold. I'm sure it is colder where you are in Montreal. And Sir Galahard asking if it's working class nerds or working class nerds. I think you'll have to ask Marcus and Nick that. But that is an excellent question. And helping us get things warmed up as we get the show started, and helping us answer questions, keeping us looking good, like we know what we're doing. I really appreciate it. So thank you, chat room, and we will talk to you more after the show. Right now, we're gonna, though, maybe try to chase down this guy.
Let the battle begin.
Yes, Malgus, let the battle begin. We did a little run in Secrets of the Enclave. This will be a continuation of the Malgus story, but there is no Malgus story yet. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to show what our walkthrough, our run through, our first look, and the fights in Secrets of the Enclave. Just so you know, if you don't even want to see any fights or see what the trash looks like or see the art that's already been shown on the live stream, here's your quote unquote spoiler warning. What you don't have to worry about, and even if you go and try it on the PTS, you don't have to worry about story spoilers. There is no story. In fact, it's a little weird. You'll go through the flashpoint and really have no idea what's going on, why you're there, who you're shooting, why you're shooting these people that are in front of you. You don't know.
You're just happy to shoot them.
Just, you just shoot some people. Hey, they're red, they're dead. Red names, red is dead. So don't have to worry about any kind of spoilers to the story at all. In fact, there were no, even of the bosses that we fight, there was no one we recognized. And so I think we're all clear there. But that's your warning. And with that, I think we can bring up our, see, I'm already at the end here. Bring up our recording, our walkthrough, and take a little look. As I'm queuing that up, Seema, what are your initial impressions? I know you love this question. What are your initial impressions?
The first thing that hit me was just how it looks. I mean, I know we've seen it on the live stream, but when you're up close and in it, it has a very I don't know how to describe it, like beautiful and advanced art, design, and detail compared to other areas in the game that are conveying the same type of ruins and gardens and stuff like that. So it's very, very looky. It's fun to look at.
It's
And then we did it in story mode, so everything was very trivial. Well, we did it in story mode, and there were 2 of us and our 2 companions, so everything all the fighting was very trivial,
right. Yeah,
which is fine. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying I I think it won't have the same problem that Spirit of Vengeance had unless they tune it up.
I think that's also true. I definitely felt that and thought that as well. Even when we did Spirit of Vengeance, as we didn't really have many, we didn't have much of a problem with it when we did it, but it definitely felt like there was bigger packs mobs and they were hitting a little bit hard, and we actually had to do a heal once in a while. Here we were just mowing it down, plowing through everything. In fact,
Right.
maybe
And
that should be feedback from us, that they should tune it up just a notch.
the final boss was more like a mini boss than
Right. And
I mean, compared to Spirit of Vengeance.
but again, we're in end game set bonus gear with level 50 influence companions, and
Yes,
we've
yes, you're right. You're
we're
right.
we're progression raiders, you know,
Okay.
as of tonight. Well, this is the second ops we cleared on vet mode. We could, that's
We're
we're doing
we're
good. We're doing
we're
fine.
progressing on the progression that we already progressed on
Yeah, I mean, I think you and I cleared
8
cleared
years
these
ago or
achievements,
whatever.
yeah, in 2011, but still, our new group. I also agree with you that the art and I think like the richness and the detail of the textures and everything is at peak SWTOR. So
Mhm.
the setting is based on the basic art set that comes from Dantooine, which is one of the most recent planets that they've added to the game. So they had that at least to start from. And then as you get in here, and as you saw in some of the concept art, they really pulled out the stops to take the engine to its maximum level in terms of the texture and what they were putting on the walls and on the floor. And it's, yeah, I really like it. It's quite richly designed. So here we are. We're at the start. This is, you start outside, overlooking on some cliffs where you can look out and see the ruins. You have a little bit of a winding path that you need to get to find your way into the ruins. What did we see there? Oh, a Zuva bat. We call those the bats when we fight the Desh Road in Scum and Villainy. Those are the bats that come and attack your shield generator on Vet and Master Mode. A couple of those little mobs. What you do get to in this first part, and I confirmed this a little bit. So again, kind of spoilery, and you can maybe infer what some of the story might be. What you need to do first, as you're winding your way through this path on the outside, is, and it pops up pretty quick after you fight the first couple squads, is, hey, there's enemy patrols, quote unquote enemies. We played through on the Imperial side, on our Imperial characters. They're all Republic squads. So it's 3 Republic camps and 3 Republic enemy squads that you need to go and track down. So look, there's a Republic banner. They're all dressed in Republic gear. They say Republic in their name. If you play this on the Republic, and I confirmed this, I went back in and looked at what the names of the bosses are. It's Imperial. So what it seems like is, if you're on the Imperial side, it seems like the story is going to be something like, oh my gosh, the Republic got there first. We need to go and get on up on in there and get those Republics out of there. Same thing if you're on the Republic side, it's going to be something like, oh my gosh, the Imperials got there. We need to get them up on out of there in our Enclave. Now, you had a perspective on this, Ema, of,
Right.
is, are they copping out here in not
So,
doing something unique for each side?
I mean, I'm not gonna say that because, maybe there is story around that of some sort, but in other content, what they've done is they've had you come in, say, a different instance, and maybe the Empire was holding this part, and you had to break through, but on the other side, the Republic was holding this part, and the Imps had to break through. But just to have a switch out of the mobs is just disturbing to me. But you pointed out that it's fine for your character. It's just the player that
Right.
doesn't make sense to. So,
Right. And
I mean, I guess that's a point.
that's a point you got there, Max, but your hair mostly covers it up. I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. And this is the way Star Wars, The Old Republic storytelling works. And this is the conclusion I came to in my head like a half hour ago was the story is always consistent from your character's point of view. And that's along with the choices that matter and the things that you do. And in here, in this case, the mobs that you encounter, and this has happened in other places as well in the game. What you end up doing is consistent from your character's point of view. It may be completely inconsistent, not only from, between different players' view of the story, but from a single player's point of view, depending on what character you play. It's going to be completely different. You're going to come here and this enclave is going to be filled with, Imperials. And you're going to go, wait. I thought these were like Republic camps and it was a bunch of Republic squad members that were in here. Nope. That's the character's point of view. Okay. I mean, that's what they have to do. I mean, that's how Charles needs to write it. That's what they need to do because of the concept of choices matter. Whether or not they still could have been a little bit more creative, as you said, and gave a slightly different version, or had like two sides to the lead up to the Enclave, and on one side was the Imperials, on the other side was the Republic, and depending on what you're playing, you start on that side. And it's a slightly different map. That probably would have taken double the work as well, but that's what they did. So that's what you get. So 3 camps, 3 squads. One thing we did notice, if you just saw that I just picked it up here in the video, there's a little box. It seems like there's a couple power-ups kinds of things that you can grab like you get in Uprisings. So here I grab a power-up and I got a cryo grenade. And Seema, you got something else out of another box, some like shocky missile.
Yeah, a shocky thing. I did.
Missile launch thing, shock thing.
Which I like that. I like getting different things to play with.
So this, we had to record because we stopped and we spent like 10 minutes standing around this cooking pot on our playthrough. So this is why we're not doing this live on the podcast. We thought this was really apropos to the SWTOR Escape Pot cast. And we're going to come back to that pot at some point in the future, I think, and do a whole show just about this pot. Anyway, lead up on the outside, you run around the outside, you kill those squads, you go through, and there's some animals and beasties out here. In fact, this was another really fun part that I wanted to pause at and show, which I don't know what happens here because we did not bother to kill. You don't need to go through this area. You can just bypass it. But there are 3 named creature mobs over here. Let me get to them. So I forgot. Didn't they have a title? I can't see their titles. Let's go back.
Oh yeah, it was like somebody's little monkey or somebody's little buddy.
It's not Yondu. Oh, Yarvok. Yarvok's little buddy. So there's 3 creatures. They're all named So chat room, somebody tell us who Yarvok is. Anyway,
we thought it was going to be a boss that we were going to play, but against.
It's not.
But maybe
Yarvok doesn't show up.
And maybe here. See, we didn't kill them. We didn't kill them either. So maybe
because
he would show up if we did kill him.
Because they're named Yug, Fuzzy, and Old Crunchy.
I'm not killing Old Crunchy.
Who's gonna kill Old Crunchy? I'm not gonna kill OL apostrophe Crunchy.
No way.
I need Old Crunchy as a pet. I'm not gonna shoot Old Crunchy. So we let them go about their business, and we just moved along. Nothing to see here. Move along. Go about your business.
Clean up this mess.
So then you're done with the outside area, and after you fight your way through the 3 camps and the 3 squads, then you get into the caves, which is the secret entrance to the Enclave ruins. The Enclave ruins look pretty cool. This was the other. There's a bunch of crystals here. You get through to the end of the cave, which is and then blocking your entrance to the actual Enclave ruins themselves is the first boss. So the first boss is named bracket temp model bracket Grawl.
That might change.
I guess that might change. Anyway, it's the Grawl boss. He's a beastie. He does not have a prominent intergluteal cleft for those who keep track of that kind of thing at home. So Cybercat Dan, no, we did not fight Did we ever fight? I mean, have we ever fought Yarvok?
No.
Who's Yarvok? Am I just not remembering who Yarvok is? There's no Yarvok in here.
Unless he spawns when you kill his buddies, and we didn't kill his buddies, so we don't know.
Yarvok is the lieutenant of the Nova Blades in the Pirate Incursion event. Okay, it sounded kind of familiar. Yeah, Yarvok. Was he the guy who owned the elevator vehicle thing that you steal? Was that Yarvok? Is that Yarvok's pleasure? That mount you can get that looks like a 1920s elevator cage? I don't know. Yeah, I think one of those guys is. Oh wait.
Is that the guy you pay the ransom to?
Oh, that's Yarvok. That's Yarvok? Whether you pay the money to? On Dantooine. Yeah, he gives that awesome speech. Where in his holla of the speech, he goes, we'll edit that out later.
Yes.
Got it. That's Yarvok. All right. So there's Yarvok's little buddies. We skipped them. We did fight Growl. Growl, again, on story mode with Seema and I in decked out gear and 50 influence companions. I barely took any damage. And in fact, I stood in a couple of his telegraphs and didn't take any damage. I'm going to fast forward here because it's weird how the terrain is arranged. It almost seems like you could completely skip the first 2 fights. There's 3 major bosses and 1 bonus boss. It seems like it's possible to skip 2 of the boss fights completely. We were able to walk around Yarvok and keep going out the door. And then we came back and we fought Yarvok just to fight him. Not Yarvok, I keep saying Growl. That might change when it's in production.
Yeah. We were afraid to skip him because we thought maybe that we would be sorry later.
Right. And we didn't want to do it 10 times and when
Right.
it was 11 o'clock at night. So I don't know if you're allowed to skip them, if you're able to skip them, or if the aggro range, you won't be able to skip them, or there'll be a barrier. There's nothing right now. It seemed like you could skip the first 2 fights. Anyway, we came back and we fought him here. So here we are fighting him. There's big telegraphs on the ground, but you saw I stood in one and it took like 5% of my health and damage. Here's a telegraph I got out of. I stood in it one time. Didn't really do a whole lot. There's some ads that come out. So again, my perspective, so he did a big jump and I took 0 damage from him smashing the ground. I'm not even looking at him. I'm standing in this telegraph. So it seems a little undertuned to me. But I'll be careful and not provide that feedback because I don't want it to then like get way overtuned and then everybody to blame us. So
because
you play it on the PTS, you decide if it's undertuned or overtuned, and you provide that feedback. This was also weird. All the gear was like 292 gear.
Yeah, that was strange.
292 to 296. That was weird. 290. I didn't know what was going on there. We were both in full 306, so I don't know what was up with that. That's probably just a bug also. I would hope. That wouldn't make sense to me at all. I mean, if you're going to do that, then just make it all tech frags and credits. Don't drop any gear. Don't purposefully drop useless gear to me. And then you click on the thing and you move along. Then you get into the ruins proper. Now here's where you can see some of the art. You saw some of this on the stream. Again, the textures I think are really good. we could not resist jumping in these pits. The pits look really, really good, really attractive. We didn't have to go back to the beginning when we rezzed. We're just on the other side of the pit. Maybe they thought like walking across that little bridge was maybe just a bridge too far, and if you died, then obviously you can't even walk across a 10-meter wide bridge that's 10 meters long. You have to res you on the other side of the bridge. I don't know, but we res right there. You fight some trash, but you do get a bonus mission along the way. And we did it wrong 3 times and then figured it out, and we didn't wipe, but you get to the first.
But we just did it wrong, yeah.
You get to the first console here, and there's a console, and it says you hover over the console, and it says disable. The console is named High Security Terminal OREC, and then the containment protocol Zesh has a sub bullet underneath it that says disable High Security Terminal OREC. This is now, then that becomes a bonus mission. So this is the first step. You have to disable this terminal. Well, you can't shoot it, you can't do anything to it, but if you click it, a warden droid shows up. So you'll see here, we click it. Click it. Come on, Max, click it. Fast forward. Click it. Warden droid shows up. We shoot the warden droid in the face. Boom, boom, boom. We blow him up, and nothing happens. And you can click the terminal again. So Seema runs over and clicks it, and we killed the warden droid again. And then we noticed the message
giant red letters.
Yeah, giant red letters on the screen that says, let me pause it here at the very end. The droid detonates, blasting everything nearby. Well, it wasn't nearby the terminal. Then we said, oh, it only took us like, maybe I edited the video and it's actually 17 times that we shot the warden droid before discovering that we need to drag it over to the terminal. Could have been. Who knows? No, I think it was, just once or twice. But we finally dragged the warden droid over to the terminal, fight it at the terminal. Here, I mean, it's hard to see because I'm pressed up against the wall. Let him blow up on top of the terminal, and boom! Terminal blows up. Bonus, you disable the high security terminal. If you zoom in on the terminal, you can see it's been smashed and it's smoking and sparking. So fun times. We figured it out. We were awesome. It wasn't very hard to figure out. There's 3 of those. So you keep going through. We'll let you see here for a little bit of the lower level, the Enclave. There's blockages, so you need to... It's relatively linear. You're not really going to get lost. In fact, I ran down the other way of the hallway here to prove that it was blocked down the other way. And yes, it's blocked. So then you come back. This is where we were saying the textures are rich. It looks like ruins. It feels like a facility, an enclave that has been derelict for a long time. There are Enclave droids down here that I think are called like decommissioned out, obsolete defense droid type things. So they've been down here for a while. Feels good, looks good. I mean, even here, look at the textures on the wall right there. And I think I even zoom in it. We're looking at the spider webs. We're looking at the textures on the wall. There, I'm zooming way in on it because I'm just fascinated by the detail that they put into it, the textures. They're pushing the engine in some nice ways to really give some depth and texture to all of the surfaces and the ground and every place that you're walking around down in these.
I mean, I have a feeling that the cutscenes when we see them are going to be just amazing.
Yeah, I like it. I like the lighting. I like you can see some smoke coming off these lightings and some haze, and it all fits together really well down here. Here's another warden droid. So we got another console where we're going to shoot the warden droid. There's areas that are broken into the ground. I don't know the story. I think other people might know the story. That this Jedi Enclave is part of the lore. I think it goes back to KOTOR. I don't know why it's in ruins, and there's holes blasted in the floor and places you can sort of creep around. But maybe other people do, or maybe we're going to find out a little bit along the way. One of the things we know, just because of what they said in the stream and the way they're titling this, is we are following in the footsteps of Malgus. Now again, We don't see Malgus, at least at this point. Maybe in the cutscenes, or maybe there's part of the story that refers to him, but nothing we see in here. I mean, we don't see like pins on the floor. I don't know what we're doing in here at this point, but we're wandering around in the Enclave and checking out a whole bunch of stuff in here, which is kind of cool. Second boss that we get to. This, again, it's a squad of 3 people. So here you get, and this is that cool art area that you saw in the live stream. That's like an atrium dome with the glass broken out above. That reminded me of when they fight the Velociraptors in the original Jurassic Park, sort of in that cafeteria area with the windows all broken out and that kind of thing. You fight a squad of 3 quote-unquote enemies. Again, this is if you're on the Imperial side, you're going to fight a squad of 3 Republic troopers. If you're on the Republic side, you fight 3 Imperials. I only saw their names. I didn't get through it and see what it looked like to fight them. But there's 3 of them. They have some abilities, and I think it's similar abilities on both sides because some of the patch notes actually refer to it when I think Chris Schmidt was writing up what some of the things that they were tuning up was. But you get to fight them out here. They do some stuff. There's a bunch of heal terminals. Very easy fight for us again. In fact, I'll snap into here a little bit. Big telegraphs on the ground, but it didn't really bother me. Like it didn't do any damage. Captain Minar here. I tried not to drop this on Seema. My companion took Shea Vizsla there is half dead. So she was taking some damage. It's not like I was paying attention to her at all or healing her up. So there's our companions. They were stunned there for a second. But even the companions didn't die, and we weren't paying attention to them at all. Very cool environment again, though. What did you think of this fight in this place, Seema?
Like I said, I liked it. I really like this room. This is also the one that Jackie Ko called out as her favorite.
Right.
And I can see why. And when you come into it too, it's such a contrast from the tunnels, the decrepit and destroyed tunnels that you've been coming through.
Yeah, it is very cool. I like it. I like the art. There's all these hanging vines and the foliage and the leafy foliage, and I didn't see myself. I know I moved my camera to look up at some point. Come on, look up. Look up. Come on, Max, look up. Trying to drag my camera around on the video.
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess you'll have to. I'll capture some screenshots. Anyway, behind that room, you don't have to go there. But if you disable 3 of those consoles, then you get the bonus boss. And here's the bonus boss. And this bonus boss is a Terentatek. That's the word, right, Seema?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really understand that it was a bonus boss, but yes, Terentatek.
Yeah, Containment Protocol Zesh bonus, defeat the monstrous Terentatek. So Terentatek is a known known creature that we've experienced many times in Star Wars: The Republic. See, it's got like this glowing thing there. I don't know what it is and what it does. We killed him before we could figure out if we were supposed to do something special. Again, easy fight. I don't know. Maybe they need to tune it up a little bit. Or, yeah, as the chat room was saying, we're just elite. We're super elite. Yeah, I don't think that's the case. On Master Mode, it could be disturbingly difficult. That can always be the case. Again, we're doing story mode here. I would hope that it's easy on story mode.
Yeah, the main thing we don't want it to be is we don't want solo story mode to be prohibitive to players that,
right,
for whatever reason,
oh, there, I finally looked up.
Can't be successful.
Here, look up. There, I looked up, finally.
Yes, you did, finally.
My recorded version of me heard me. and looked up. Hanging vines hanging off of the broken girders up there and stuff. It's just pretty cool. I like it. So yeah, that's right, Cybercat Dan. Now that we're progression, just knocking out the elite content, everything just seems too easy for us. Bonus boss. So 3 major bosses. We've showed you 2. Now I'm looking up the whole time. Stop looking up. We're trying to move along here. Get through to the end room. Not much further after you fight those 3. This is the penultimate area. Bunch of trash out here. Little puzzle. You just got to grab 3 sets of explosives, blow up a barrier at the end of the area out here, which we did. There's the Ark of the Covenant that you can see right there. And then there's 2 of them. I don't understand why there's 2 Arks of the Covenant, but there you go. We're trying to figure out why there's 2. We've got people working on it. Who are those people? Top men. Top
men.
Anyway, we blow that up. We get through down into the last area. And what do we find? But another quote-unquote enemy. So we get to fight a Jedi, and I'm sure you get to fight an equivalent Imperial scum on the other side if you come in as a Republic. But this squid person, Will Smith's baby person, Jedi, Master Leah Narez, she barely puts up a fight, and we knock her out, and that's it. Another cool area, another cool little sort of outdoor area, atrium. You'll see at the end. I think I will look up. But cool flashpoint overall. It felt good to me. It felt like a good length. It felt like a good setting for a story. We don't know what the story is. We know there's new characters that will be introduced through this part of the story. I'm interested to see it. So here we've got our sneak. So here to see there's ads showing up, but the ads really don't do anything. They're like wandering around. See, we also killed it really fast. There was that big giant purple circle at the end. We have no idea what that purple circle does because we killed it before they could even go off. So maybe it's a terrifying fight on the more difficult modes. And as we just said, I wouldn't mind if it's super easy on story mode, so that you can just focus on the story and enjoy the ambiance and the story. But cool. So I'm happy to have this as a progression point in the story, a place where things move along. What do you think, Seema?
Yeah, I'm totally happy with it. I thought your point just now of the length was a good one. It was a really, because we did it pretty late at night, sort of like after we were done with everything else for the day, and it was still fun and didn't drag on forever. Didn't have corridor after corridor of sky troopers.
So here we are, our recording, and this is with us like standing around looking at the ceiling, standing around looking at the pot for a while, wondering who Yarvok was, and playing with his pets. And even with all of that, it was 40 minutes. So this, I'm sure you could probably fly through here in 10, 15 minutes practically, if you're just cruising through in story mode with overpowered characters. That said, that the 3 bosses get through and see the story, this would be a place I would not mind coming back to. It's not a long thing if you needed to go do a flashpoint. And if you were going to come in here on master mode, and because you wanted the achievements, the first part, I guess on the outside, there's quite a bit of trash, but there's quite a bit less trash on the inside parts, and like 1 or 2 packs between the last 2 fights. Not bad in my view. So it won't be bad from that part as well. So yeah, Starry Saber says as well, apart from the start, it felt like it flowed well. There's there's significant trash on the outside, 3 camps and 3 squads. And, so you're going to be fighting, and there's like 8 trash in each of those fights. So right there, you've got, 50 mobs that you're fighting, plus the groups of creatures that you're fighting. It's a sort of a long hike through the wilderness on the outside. Once you get on the inside, the chocolatey center of the Enclave is quite delicious. Let's put it that way. All right. Let us know if you did it. The chat room was speculating, what would it look like to get in here like on a fresh character with 270 and a influence 1 companion? Somebody do it and let us know. Let us know how it feels on story. And then if anyone has done it on any of the more difficult modes, I know vet mode is in. I don't think master mode is in, but I believe vet mode is in on the PTS. Cybercat Dan says Leah Nerez is from the Stoilers. I think that might be a typo. I don't know what a Stoiler is.
I think he meant spoiler.
It's from the Spoilers. It's for Leah Nerez. Is that a spoiler? Is she somebody we're supposed to know? Did we just spoil it for everybody? We just ruin everyone's lives?
We can take that out in post.
We'll cut it. We'll cut it out. A Soiler is a story spoiler. Yeah, I'm kind of. Except who is that? Anybody? Zen would know. Is Leah Nerez?
I was going to ask him after
Anybody?
we finished the podcast.
Oh, because maybe we're ruining it. We're doubling down on us ruining it right now. Stop listening. Oh, Jedi Knight storyline. Maybe this is. Maybe we did just ruin. We just ruined everything. Snape kills Dumbledore. There we go. Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. Rosebud is his sled. Yeah, we're terrible people. Anyway, we're terrible. Flashpoint is great. That's where we're at.
Yeah, Zen. Zen says go back and read all the codexes.
Can do. I'm gonna get right on that. Kylo kills Rey. Chewbacca was dead the whole time. Rey's last name is Star Wars. Anyone ever seen that TikTok? Who are your people? I'm Rey. Rey Star Wars. Would make as much sense as anything. Anyway, I had a good time in here. We'll see what else. Hopefully in the next week or two, we'll get back to galactic seasons, and that will make sense to us because it kind of doesn't just yet. And we'll see about doing a show about that. If you got your own perspective on galactic seasons, if you like it, if you don't like it, if there's things you think should change, number one, post it to the forums and those feedback threads. We need that feedback going to BioWare. For 2, tell us, and we will talk about it on a future show. But with that, I think we are ready to get on up out of here with our podcast. So for podcast links, follow me on Twitter, and you'll know when the show goes live, @MaxTheGray. And if you know anyone that should be playing with us, or if you're listening to this and thinking, hey, it would be cool to join that guild they keep talking about all there, find us at aie-guild.org. In the upper right corner of the guild main page, you will find our Discord link. You can get on our Discord, see all the games that we play, go down into the SWTOR channel. You can ask for a guild invite on the Imperial or the Republic side. We play on Starforge. We have our guild events on Tuesday nights and Friday nights. Lots of op teams running throughout the week. Lots of people running things throughout the day. We would love to have you. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.